morning. How are we all doing? So it's Car Diaries number 4. I want to try and make this a regular thing because it's a good way to unwind after a long evening of work, and also it helps me to spit out my thoughts on the news and give my take on what's been happening. So a few things I've seen on the news from yesterday. I just wanted to kind of give you my thoughts and update you on what's happening. So the first then is the Apple HomePod. Remember that? Yes, the Apple HomePod. This was talked about last year by Apple, and I kind of thought they would release it around about the same time as the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 8 Plus and what have you. But they didn't. They've kind of been holding off on it, which is very strange. And since then, nobody's really heard much about it. And now they've told us that the HomePod is going to be released on February the 9th. So, in case you're wondering what the Apple HomePod is, the Apple HomePod is their version of the Amazon Echo, the Google Home, what have you. Whether they told you that or not, that is basically what it's going to be seen as. And it looks like a nice piece of kit, it really does. It kind of looks like a UE Megaboom that's been cut in half, squashed down a little bit. It looks a bit fatter, but it does look like a really nice piece of kit. And by all means, by all intents and purposes, the sound is actually meant to be really, really good, based on what we heard from tech reviewers last year who attended the Apple event. But one thing that's kind of bugging me a little bit is that is it going to be dead on arrival, or are people actually going to be interested in it now? Because I think like the ship has sailed a little bit for this one. And confession time, we got the Google Home Mini, we've also got the Amazon Alexa Echo Dot at home. And as much fun as they are when you first get them, I've got to be honest, they turn out to be about as much use as a second arse on your elbow. The reason being is because they don't do anything compelling more than what you can do on your phone. So you've got Google Assistant on your phone, for example, which can be triggered even if the phone is in your pocket. So if I'm in the car, the phone is in my pocket, and I want to change a playlist, so I want to be safe on the road, I can just say, OK Google, and what it will do, I can just then say to trigger the playlist that I want, and it'll do that. And it will happen when it's in my pocket. You do have to set up Google Assistant to do that, and also Siri, so the keyword detection can be done when the phone is in lock state. I'm not sure if it does it on iPhone. Someone please let me know if it does. I'm not quite sure. I don't own an iPhone. But I know with Google you can set it so it will do it from any screen, even if locked. So, yeah, I'm a little bit curious as to how it's going to go for Apple HomePod. I'm sure it's going to be fantastically built. It's going to have great sound quality and what have you. But I'm not sure if they've left it a little bit too late. The business decision and rationale, and we're waiting this long, is a puzzle to me. Maybe they're doing it because they know there's not going to be any releases of that kind of speaker now. Like Google have got theirs out of the way, the Google Home Max is out now, and Amazon have got their Alexa speakers, the Echo speakers, sorry, the new range has been out now before Christmas. So like, you know, they've had their moment in the limelight with those as well. So maybe they're being smart, perhaps, excuse me, and getting it out there now. No, there's nothing else to kind of challenge it at the moment, like the sales have died down a bit. But as I said, you know, as much as I hate to say it, we don't really use the Google Home Mini that much, or the Alexa, because there's not anything, like I say, compelling that it will do over and above what your phone does. So, yeah, it's a shame for me to say that, but that is the reality, unfortunately. And it'll be interesting to see how it pans out for the HomePod. I'm not sure how much it is yet either. I know at least one person, one of my friends, will absolutely lap it up. Apple have got a massive captive audience for the HomePod. And I think they'll probably do well out of it purely on sales, because Apple users in their ecosystem typically will like to try out these new things, which is cool. So the next thing is the DJI Mavic Air. Have you seen that thing? Absolutely incredible. If someone had told you 10 years ago they'd be able to get a consumer drone that would fit in your pocket, you'd probably have laughed at them and said a couple of profanities. Because DJI have done seemingly the impossible and made a drone which is actually smaller than the DJI Spark, which came out last year. So the DJI Spark was the smallest consumer drone you could get at the time, and the DJI Mavic Air is essentially some of, or most of, the good features of the DJI Mavic. Great drone on its own. One of my friends at work has one. I've seen the footage, absolutely incredible. You've seen it elsewhere yourself, no doubt, as well. and it's then got the portability of the DJI Spark, but it's actually smaller again than the DJI Spark. Literally, you can fit it in your pocket. You kind of fold all the propellers up, and you can fit it in your pocket. And some of the footage I've seen from it is incredible. They can record 4K video, and it's so tiny and so compact. It's absolutely incredible what they've done with that. Really, really is absolutely amazing. So impressive. I'll leave you some links in the description box to two of the videos that I've seen in the last day or so, and that was from crash on the motorway. Slow down, people behind. Right, and it's SuperSaf and Casey Neistat. I knew Casey Neistat would definitely have his hand in it, because he did a really fantastic video showing that off. And also SuperSaf did a really good video as well. So I'll leave a description I'll leave a link to both those videos in the description box, which will allow you to see it in a bit more detail for yourself. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is the Essential phone. Yeah, okay, this has been out for a while now, but one thing I'd really love to see is them announce it for the UK market. Now I know it didn't actually set sales records alight in the US. As their key first release, they kind of they messed it up a little bit. The pricing was way off, I thought, for the type of phone it is. It looks incredible, don't get me wrong, really lovely looking device, but they were way off on the pricing. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but to kind of make your first phone a bit of a turkey is a bit of a shame, and I don't know whether they thought they would sell more and have more demand than they would, because Andy Rubin is the brainchild of Android, and they perhaps were riding on the back of that, hoping it was going to be a success purely because of that. But it was a shame. But then all of a sudden they made some really cool price cuts, and over the Christmas holidays, it did really well, because they had priced it exactly how it should have been, at like $399, plus you get the 360 camera thrown in the box as well, which made it a really compelling purchase decision. And it looks like a great phone. They've improved the camera performance, the software's been updated over time, they've given it plenty of support, so that's really cool. But I'd really love to see it in the UK market. There's a lot of people that would really enjoy something different, because it's not another Samsung, it's not another iPhone, it's not another HTC device. Look how far OnePlus have come. That's a great success story that Essential could learn from. I just wish they'd done the reverse. Instead of going with a high price, going with a lower price, and then kind of go up as you go along, because they've got nowhere left to go then. If they price high from the very start and they don't get any interest, what they'll need to do for their second phone, if there ever is an Essential phone 2, is that they're going to really need to think about that pricing. But I would absolutely love for them to announce it for the UK market, because I would absolutely love to take a look at that. So yeah, if you've not seen the Essential phone, just Google it. There's plenty of videos around the net, and I will link to one of my favourite videos on the Essential phone in the description, so you can see that for yourselves. Alright, so next, the Galaxy S9. So the Galaxy S9 is just around the corner. It's going to be announced at Mobile World Congress very shortly. One of the little tidbits of news I've seen about it, which I saw last night, which was kind of a bit puzzling, was about the charging and the battery capacity. Now I'm alright with the battery capacity, because with the new Snapdragon 845 and the new Exynos chip, you can kind of squeeze more efficiency out of the phone, so it's not going to be so much load on the battery. So when it's in standby state, it's obviously just going to be sipping battery power rather than sort of eating into it, which was like phones of old. But one thing which really got me puzzled was the fact that the charging method, they're not using the Snapdragon 845 updated charging facility. So the new charging method apparently can get you about 50% in 15 minutes, which is pretty awesome. And there's nothing worse, apart from soiling yourself on public transport, than running out of juice and then not being able to charge your phone quick enough to give you any kind of meaningful charge. And when I saw this, I was like, really, Samsung? Why do you do this to yourself? It's one of the most puzzling companies I've ever known in all of my life. It's really weird. They bring out these great devices with all these fancy new specs and everything, and then they don't activate the features which are available on the chipset. I'm sure there must be a good reason for it, but Samsung, you really need to tell us what that good reason is, because it just seems a little bit weird that you kind of would omit that feature. But when you're in a pickle and you need to charge your phone quickly, I mean, I've got a OnePlus device and the dash charge is absolutely amazing. I love it. It doesn't harm the battery. My battery works just as well as the first day I had the phone. And for Samsung not to include this new feature in their flagship grade handset it just seems a bit of a shame. I'll keep you updated on the Galaxy S9 as things go along. But yeah, that was just one thing I noticed in the news last night, which kind of puzzled me a little bit. We'll kind of update that as we go along. And the last thing was, looking around Twitter, it seems to be this whole kind of support mechanism for small YouTubers lately, which is great, and it's getting a lot of traction for a lot of smaller channels, which is fantastic. The effort is really, really awesome. One thing I'd love to see now this year is kind of bringing back a bit of the love for YouTube. It's coming for a really, really hard time recently, and for good reason. I think this is kind of the kick up the arse that YouTube needs. I think they've had to have a bit of a reality check by the looks of it. You know, there's been a lot of questionable content. I'm not going to keep mentioning who it is, you know I'm talking about, but there's been a lot of questionable content from some creators who I personally think have taken the opportunity for granted and basically just gone a little bit too far with their own thoughts and been, what's the word, a bit indulgent with their choice of videos, doing things that they think would be enjoyable but actually aren't enjoyable at all. And again, you know what I'm talking about. I saw that video and it was absolutely horrific. It really, really was. That is not the kind of thing people want to watch on a free to use platform. I know you've got YouTube Red in the US, which you can pay for, but here in the UK and all across the world, YouTube is a free service and people just don't want to see that kind of crap. So I hope this year is one of the years that we kind of re-inject a bit of love into the whole YouTube platform, which is why I want to do things like this. It's just casual things that people may enjoy or may find interesting. I don't know, you tell me. But yeah, just sharing things, having a bit of a laugh and a giggle at stuff which is actually really good to watch. Now, one channel that I've really enjoyed watching, and he's a really super guy. He's new to the YouTube scene, but he's someone who works really, really hard, and he's obviously working hard to make a big effort to get himself noticed and make some really good content, and he's succeeding. So that is Roger from Life and Tech. I did link him in my description yesterday. The reason I'm kind of bringing him up again today is because I follow Dave Cryer Geekanoids on YouTube and also on Twitter. If you haven't checked him out, again, I'll leave his description. Dave's a great guy. He's been in the YouTube game now for a long, long time, around 12 years as far as I recall. And this guy is worth it. His work ethic is second to none. It really, really is. This guy pumps out content every single day, whether it's just a live stream talking about, you know, business tips and what have you, or a live stream on a certain product, unboxings and what have you. Dave's pretty much on the mark every single time. He's a super guy, really down to earth. And this morning I'd seen that he'd liked one of Roger's videos, and I kind of thought to myself, well, how cool is that? That's one of the most respected YouTubers that are around at the moment, liking a small creator's video. And as Dave said, he likes to check out his viewers' content to see what it's like, and you know, he said he's really impressed. And good for Roger. I tell you what, Roger, you know, if you're watching this, there's nothing better than seeing somebody who's new make a mark already with content creators like that. We also had JD Provost as well, made a comment and subscribed to your channel. So Roger, if you're watching this, dude, keep going, man. You know, don't get despondent, don't be disheartened by people who will give you hater comments, because you will get them. They are coming. And they're what's bad about YouTube. Unfortunately, YouTube cannot moderate comment sections. It's just impossible. As they say, you know, apparently videos get uploaded every 4 seconds or something. So that's a scary statistic. But they just cannot moderate it. So it's time to give back a bit of love, I think, this year to the YouTube platform. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to go out of business tomorrow. It's too big to do that. And the last thing I think that YouTube needs is a backlash against its platform. It's a great platform, but because of the decisions of some, should we say, as I said, indulgent content creators who are making things which are spoiling it for everyone else, and have spoiled it, I believe, then, you know, we need to get back a bit of that love in the channel, which is why, as I said, I'm making videos like this. And people like Roger with Life and Tech are basically personify what's good about YouTube and what could be achieved in a short space of time with effort and the right mindset and the right attitude. So Roger, good for you, man, and I really hope that everything is successful for you. He's just passed 200 subscribers, and I do wish him all the best, and I'll continue to support him as much as he needs. Not that I'm some sort of great support mechanism. I haven't been doing this for so long. I'm no expert, but I do like to give some tips of what I've learned in the last year to anyone who is starting out new anyway, and that includes anyone who's watching this who's maybe got a small user base and just wants to know if I can help them with anything. So that's pretty much it for today. I'm going to have to sign off very, very shortly. There's been a nasty bump somewhere on this motorway, so I just want to concentrate on the road. But again, thanks very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If there's something you want to leave a comment about or ask me a question, not good, then please let me know in the comments, and I will catch you guys later.